everyone, and welcome to another episode of Elevating Your Life. We are so going to elevate today. It is going to be fantastic. I have with us today Tim Malone. He is an accomplished entrepreneur with a passion for business innovation. Prior to joining the family business, Malone Workforce Solutions, he successfully owned and operated a profitable flooring company. Tim started his spiritual journey nearly a decade ago, determined to understand the mysteries of the universe. This was an unexpected new chapter in his life, one he expects to keep evolving. Behind the Veil is his first book in his series. And he, being a successful businessman, Tim found himself spiraling into the depths of an opioid addiction that lasted 7 years. He had built a staffing empire valued at over 400 million. Yet behind this facade of success, Tim's personal life was unraveling. And Tim, being in a failing marriage and burdened by the pressure of maintaining his business, turned to the opioids to numb his pain. And his descent into addiction led to an unexpected romance with Denise, a relationship that ultimately provided him with a second chance at love and happiness. However, it was the unforeseen arrival of Boo Boo, a dog Tim never knew he wanted, that catalyzed his journey to redemption. Boo Boo's unconditional love helped Tim rebuild his life. And then the story reaches a turning point with Boo Boo's death. And that not only plunged him into profound grief, but also opened doors to new spiritual dimensions. Through his experiences with orbs, spirit guides, angels, and so many other mystical entities that we're going to talk about, Tim found a renewed sense of purpose and deeper connection to the universe and to Boo Boo. Oh, Tim, it's amazing. I am so excited to have you with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paula. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to work with me and be on the show. And wow, your energy, you're an elevator yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, would you like to share any more of your background and maybe a little bit about Boo Boo, being the dog lover I am? Oh my gosh, they are so wonderful. And anything else there you want to share before we dive into things?
Sure. I mean, I think I'd like your listeners to know that really I was of no faith at all up until the time of the addiction and then the salvation. With my dog and the death and the things that happened afterwards. I was, raised a Catholic, but I felt like I was just a normal person living each day, um, kind of in a drudgery of sorts in life. And so then, that all changed with the divorce. And of course, as I look back on it now, there was good reasons why I call them the holy ones, um, saved me, and understanding more about why I was saved, and all has to do with the things in the book and the orb. So, yeah, but just really a normal person who went off the deep end.
And I understand that your journey really began after Boo Boo passed, and you identified an orb on her deathbed. Tell us about that, Tim.
Well, Paula, I had some experiences. My daughter had me join a meditation group, and we would meet and we would talk about our lives, kind of therapy too, and then we would meditate. Then we'd all talk about what we saw or what we felt. So that was my first introduction into the mystical, and I really, really liked it. But and I started reading spiritual books. As you know, there's zillions of them that cover, like you said, your Reiki, and then there's all these other modalities. Um, but I had read a book by Dinah Cooper called Ascension Through Orbs and Kathy Crosswell that stuck with me. And so I knew a little bit about orbs. And then when Boo Boo passed, I was so distraught. You said you're a dog lover, and I know a lot of your listeners have had pets that pass. It's a huge emotional. It
Mhm.
threw me for a loop. That year was COVID. My dog passed, and then I developed shingles. I really thought that my life might come to an end. But when my dog died, I took a picture of my dog on his her deathbed, and then I started taking pictures in my orb that night with my iPhone. And the next day, when I came to work and downloaded those into a picture manager, I was like, there's an orb on my dog right by his head. And then the pictures I had from my yard were orbs, but my dog's face was in those. So I was like, wow. Because I asked the universe to let me keep my dog's soul around.
Ah, and now you got an answer, didn't you?
I did. I did. I couldn't believe it. I was, I was so distraught my dog was gone, but I've learned out a lot about life and about what happens when you die through all that transaction, especially at the beginning.
And then we realize they're gone in one way, but they're with us forever in another way. And that is so wonderful. And I actually once in my life have experienced orbs. I'll share that story real quick. I was in Sedona, Arizona, and I was at a park where I sit with my water or my feet in the water and all this energized water coming through and doing Reiki. And my friend took some pictures of me, and we went to look at the pictures, and there were orbs and a violet light coming down behind me. It was amazing. It was amazing. I'd never seen such a thing. And in your book, you have some fantastic pictures, Tim. Orbs, they are really fascinating.
Well, orbs are the building blocks of the universe. Orbs are, I like to describe them as their spirit emanations. They are guided by spirit. So, my example to your listeners and to you would be that let's say you're flying in an airplane at night and you have a window seat and you look out and down at the ground and you see two headlights, and you know intuitively that's a car or a bus, and you also know intuitively somebody's driving it. It's the same thing with orbs. Orbs are being guided, or they're being guided or driven by angels, archangels, other spiritual beings. They're like the bus in the transport system for the angels in the universe from Earth.
Isn't that amazing? So if we see an orb, would you say take that as a message? An angel is giving us a message, even if it's just saying, I'm here, I'm here.
It is. So you'll see orbs and pictures at anniversaries, graduations, parties, special events. The angels and your loved ones love to be around you when those things are happening. And when you take pictures, if you look, you can see orbs almost at all those events. And yes, they're there. In the last 20 years, the Holy Ones have created a way for us to more easily access orbs through our cameras.
Oh, that is so amazing. That's so amazing. So, orbs is one way of the angels messaging us. Do you have anything else to say about angels and how they message us and maybe what, to watch for?
Well, I think for people that are beginning their journey, one of the first things you might want to start trying to do is ask and find out who your spirit guides are. Those guides are with you all the time, and usually between 2 and 4 in the morning are very quiet times where they like to communicate with you. So if you have the intentions and share your consciousness with and ask to see your spirit guide, your main spirit guide, let's say. And usually in a few nights, you'll see that person show up in a dream or a vision, and they may speak to you, and you might even get their name.
Wow. So 2 to 4 in the morning is the best
Yes,
time to
critical time.
communicate.
Yep.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That is fantastic because I usually put a little something out every morning, but I'm going to do that 2 to 4 in the morning. Ah, and what what's it been like for you to realize that those guides, the angels, are out there with us? And do you think those have anything to do with our prior lives, who comes to us and who's around us?
Sure. I mean, those are two questions. So the first is, the angels are there are thousands of different types of angels. There are angels that can help you with dreams, with nightmares. There are angels that can help you in every walk of life. You have your spirit guide, you have like your guardian angel. So these are people that their job to help. Seraph and angels are one of the biggest groups on this planet that help humans. And then uh, I believe in reincarnation. So the orbs can contain people from your past. They can contain family members that are coming to see you at graduations or whatever it might be. So the orbs are very critical. And when you look at the shape of the orb being round, in my experience with them using the energy from houses and lights on the back of houses, um, that's the way they show to us and try to connect with us, we humans, while we're on this free will planet.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, would you say when we see orbs to kind of ask for a message or just take in, I feel you, I know you're there?
Well, you can do both, Paula. You can feel their presence, and you can also ask for a message. I have a friend who had a dream one night about somebody that was in his life from the past. And so he went the next night and took pictures, and there was a beautiful orb that had a lady playing a harp in the orb. And so this was somebody that was one of his guides, maybe somebody from a past life that wanted to connect with him. Um, because it's one of their easier ways to connect with us.
I love it. I love it. And so with the angels, would you say something you talk about is manifestation magic, turning thoughts into reality? Tell us about that.
Well, I found out that when I would meditate during the day at 3 every day at my special place, that night they would show me the things that I asked to see because I was like, all right, let me see this angel. Let me see Archangel Michael. Let me see this. And they usually would show me Master Babbage. Then he shows up in an orb. So they were showing me things that proves that we share consciousness with the other side. And through this shared consciousness, if you're trying to achieve something in your life, your job, your career, your sports, um, putting it out there to them will help you manifest it and create the energy together with them to make these things happen. There's several books about manifesting in your life, and the stories are incredible about people that did incredible things. And you even mentioned to me a story about buying the business that might be a manifest of some type.
Yeah, yeah. So, how did experiencing all this and then having your beautiful boo boo, how did that make, what was that like for you, with becoming addicted and bringing yourself out of that? And now, I mean, now you have so much knowledge and communication. What was that like to make that transfer?
Well, it was scary at first because I thought I'd open a door to something on the other side because that's what the movies and the newspapers and magazines tell us is everything are these scary movies and all these things on the other side are scary. But that's not true. The thing you understand and I appreciate so much is how much love they have for us. Oh my gosh, they love us so much and they want to help us so much. So for me, the experience with angels um, has been the most important thing that ever happened in my life. And to people that worry about dying and what happens, you don't have to worry. You do not have to worry. It is an amazing journey that you're taking place every time that you pass and reincarnate and it's beautiful. So I think finding out that when I die, that's just not it,
Oh,
was also very appealing to me.
yeah. I've interviewed over the years many people that have experienced near-death experiences, you know, that have gone outside the body. I am also shaman trained. My shaman name is Shantara. And I remember one journey in Sedona where I went outside my body and it was like forever after that, it was like I see through new eyes,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, we can let go of the fear.
Yes, exactly. And
What
that's what
we
we
and
need
what
right
we have
now.
waiting is love.
Exactly. That's in my book, I say behind the book, behind the veil, that love is the currency on the other side.
And it is. And what an enlightening and beautiful thing that is to remember. And that can, when we're pulled down by, maybe a drug addiction or losing a loved one or, just something in life, we can lift up and, come out of that. And that's a wonderful thing to know.
Well, you're correct. And I think that being human is not easy. And as you know, and in my life, and I'm sure a lot of your listeners, there are chapters of our life that are not pretty at all, and they hurt or have hurt people. So being human is not the easiest thing to go through, but there is truth and a whole support system there to help us if we will just reach out to it.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. And something, you've mentioned, building a legacy of love, spirituality in everyday life. And that's a powerful statement. That is so true. What
Well,
we,
and that's all you need is a spiritual path. They're not asking us to go to a monastery and spend 5 years. They're not asking us to join a particular religion, which religion is great. But they just want us to be good humans. They want us to love. They want us to take care of people and be kind. That is the spiritual path that they would like us to journey on.
yeah. And something, I'm passionate about, just positive thinking, think positive and move ahead. And so how much would you say positive thinking can shape our lives?
I think, when you look at the physiology of the body and the mind, you've got positive thinking working there, but then positive thinking when it comes to the holy ones and the other side, it is also something I think I call these STE, spiritually transformative events. And I encourage all your readers, if they've never had one, to try to experience it. And there's a lot of ways to do it. But whether you're meditating or a relative has died and you see them in your bedroom that night to say goodbye to you, there are events in our life that touch on the spiritual that make you feel so the energy and the love is right there. And there's so much of that you can touch uh, just in your everyday life.
Yes, yes. And your book, Behind the Veil, I mean, it shares so much wonderful information and and that's such a statement. Behind the veil. It's there. And you've discovered it and you're sharing it with your readers.
Yeah, I think, the first part of the book is about addiction, but the second part, I'm really proud that we wrote out to try to give people the ground rules of what it is on the other side. So it goes into the angel groups, it talks about grounding, it talks about all these things that people may have an interest in learning about the holy ones. And it teaches people, hopefully, to start their journey and how to start that and do it and make yourself into something greater.
Yes, yes. And what's your thoughts on where we're at in this life and have our past lives made a difference to the path we're on? And is this life going to make a difference to the path of our next life? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I believe in reincarnation, and that's what they've shown me, and that's what they've told me. So I've done my work with my Akashic records, and I've had some incredible experiences in past lives in Egypt and England and France, in South America. Unfortunately, some of those ended up. One time I was pushed into a volcano, and one time I was put to death in Egypt. So, but you have this thing that everybody's heard the term karma. And so your soul, when you die, you go back to the light and then you meet with your soul family. You review your life on earth, and you talk about what you were supposed to do in this incarnation, what your soul was seeking on that incarnation. And then you start learning more while you're there. And when you decide to reincarnate again, there's a pathway for you to and continue improving your soul's journey and your karma. And I think that's so it's all a progression of reincarnations in life.
I love that. It's all a progression. And every day we're taking another step forward, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Wow.
Most of us.
Yeah, yeah, most of us. Oh my goodness. What would you say to someone who might be listening and saying, "Well, I really don't know anything about Akashic records. What would I do?" How does a person kind of delve into that?
Paula, there is I bet I've read in 10 years 400 books. And I,
Oh,
I was
wow.
just a sponge trying to learn as much as I could about all these different things that are in the spiritual realm. It's pretty exhaustive, the amount of material that's out there, but trying to find the thing that interests you. And I go back to one of the first things is to try to find out your spirit guides, those people that you can work with every day to help you and you can speak to, and you'll start seeing them show up. You'll start seeing them help you find parking places. You'll have all types of experiences when you start tuning into them.
Oh, that's too funny, Tim. When I'm looking for a parking space, I'll say, "Parking angels, help me find a space."
That's right. There are parking angels.
I mean, we can have a lot of fun with our angels. Yes, I love you. Okay, parking angel, help me find a space. Yeah.
Yeah, there definitely are parking angels.
Oh my goodness. Please share your website or any information you want to share and kind of what last message, you want everyone to think about today before we say goodbye.
Well, Paula, the website is Tim Malone Behind the Veil. And I think it's important to remember that because if you buy the book, which I wish you would, there are pictures in the book, but they're in black and white. So the website actually has those pictures in color and it describes what page those pictures are on. So you can see a more accurate representation of the pictures I was taking. And some people are going to see all the things I saw in the orbs. Some will see some of it, and some won't see any. It just depends on how far along you are spiritually.
Wow.
And then I think the last message would be that the Holy Ones are very concerned about the earth. In the next 9 years, we're going through a new phase, the Aquarian age, and it's going to be moving from people using their mind to make decisions and do things to their heart. So, using your heart with love and dedication, and they're going to be lifting the veil on the third dimensional energy on our earth. So it's easier for people to connect to their higher self and to angels and other beings. So they're paving the way to try to help the earth be a kinder, gentler place. And I know we all think, oh, that'll be impossible. Look at the politics, but it's going to happen. If they can do all they do in the universe with the millions of planets and souls, I mean, they can help this Earth heal, and that's what they've told me their intent is. So that's what I'd like your people to know.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And there is s- so much love and goodness on the earth that
Yes,
we kind of forget to think about and be grateful for. There's so much of
yes.
that. Yes. Do you have another book coming out or any projects ahead we should watch for?
Well, actually, I'm doing a wellness retreat in Kentucky that's going to have a 100-foot portal between heaven and earth. Uh, in Hollow Earth. So that'll be something you have to come see, Paula, because it'll blow your mind with the energy that they're going to use to operate this, the Holy Ones. This is what they want me to do. They
Love it.
want to call it the Golden Sentinel.
Yeah.
And then I have a book I'm writing with Kathy Crosswell, who's in England. And this book is called Calling All Humans. And it's going to be a guidebook for humans to be able to understand more about connections and how their journey works and how you ground and all the basics, the like the 101 of the spiritual world.
I love it. I love it. Oh, Tim, thank you so much for being such a beautiful, positive energy in the world and all that you share, my energy brother. And everyone out there, thank you for joining us today. Love, hugs, and blessings. Tim, love, hugs, and blessings.
Same to you and your readers. Thank you all for
Thank
taking the
you.
time to listen to me.